Cavecast, the uncensored show for nerds of all kinds.
I hope you guys know that the one thing that is on my mind right now is the fact that as soon as we get done with this, we get to go outside and just grill some awesome food.
Yeah,
dude,
we both bought meats.
Yeah, and it's because it was that mentality of I went to the local grocery store and I was like, okay, I'm just going to see what they have. And I saw that they had like, the naked, chicken where it's like, it's just, the raw chicken, it's there. And then they have the one that's like Frank's rub or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm like, we can add anything we want to that. We've got sauces now, like, from the local place too. So,
yeah.
And I also got some hot Italian sausages. And when I came home, you were like, hey man, when are you wanting to record? Are you wanting to record? Because I was thinking about getting meats, and I'm like, I already got some. And it was like, oh, cool, I'll get some too. So
yeah,
so well, like
you save some of yours, I'll save some of mine. Yeah. We'll regroup in the middle and then have more later.
Yeah, it's to me that's actually one of the things that really does make me feel like just I've made it. And and I know it's so dumb. It's so dumb, but it's one of those that like. I'm a very free person in the fact that it's like I don't have necessarily the responsibilities that every other 31-year-old person has.
No, you are a legit bachelor, man.
And it's cool. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's an awesome thing, and it's in the time that I've gone through the big change that happened in my life and the things that have gone on is that I've been very distant, I've been very put off, and I've been very angry for a long time. And it's not just with the possibility of finding somebody. I think there's a natural pessimism that happens there with life. I mean, it's just
of course. And
I'm finding more and more reasons to smile and more reasons to just like have some peace. And it's very, very odd. It's that whole mentality of like things are going good. This is usually when I start to panic. Yeah. And then when something bad happens, that's the whole, see, I told you. It's like, bad shit just happens, dude. Like doesn't mean that it's like, bad or worse, but yeah.
Well, I think I've said this before, but there was something that I read a couple years ago and it said, are you having a bad day or did you have a bad 5 minutes and then you're letting it ruin your whole day? I'm like, fuck.
Right.
Like, okay, that makes sense. But sometimes like, no, there is still just a lot of times like you do have bad days. But you and I had talked, you were talking about like, being pessimistic and all these things and you're finding, reasons to smile. I told you at the beginning, and I know it's hard to see it then, but I was like, no, man, you'll get back into doing X, Y, and Z. And you're like, no, I don't think so. And I'm like, you will, but you just didn't see it then. You were going through something and still are, and life in general. But dude, it's the fact of, I think the fact that, we're stoked that we're just going to be able to go grill. That's just something that was never really like that. Like we both had some dark times and still are going through some dark times, but we do have some reasons to smile.
Yeah.
So it's been nice.
Well, it's even too, like, I mean, the stuff that happens before shows, like even the one day, like, busting out the Oculus because I got the new climbing game.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, it actually has torn up my arms a lot. And it's one of those, like it actually, I did prison push-ups the other night just because I could. And I was like, no, like, let's see if I can get rid of my moves and move on,
Yeah.
So, but
I'm trying to get there too, man.
Yeah. So it's like I tell every female in my life is that, look, you're supposed to have boobs. I'm not. Okay. So it's like,
right.
But, just because that's not the goal. That's not what I want. That's not what I'm going for, but in the same hand, I don't know, like it's one of those that I'm looking at everything that's happening and being excited about that stuff. Like I'm finding that, it's not that I was never excited about Riker Road or not excited about the podcast. Clearly it happened. But in the same hand, I look at it in the idea that, it's like there's a natural excitement that's there. And and it's not so hard to look forward. Like songs are making me excited again. It's like discovering new artists. The channel has a lot to do with that. But I'm also very curious as to, having said all those things, what are you thankful for right now? Like, it's like, I mean, you can go as heavy as you want. You can be as light as you want. Like, what is it that you are like just absolutely thankful for right now?
So I am thankful for a couple of things, just in the fact of I'm done with my, I guess, custody situation with my little girl. So that's nice. That's finally off of my chest. And I'm thankful for the fact that I am the stay-at-home dad now.
It's so cool.
That really is, hate to sound like a broken record, but that's really it for the moment, and the fact of what I'm just so thankful for, because it's something that I never really thought I would get. Now here I am. So it's the fact that it's just I kind of like have this surreal life now And I'm just like, every day I feel just thankful for the fact of this is what I get to do.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not even the fact of YouTube. It's the fact of whenever I need to get my daughter, I can do it.
Yeah.
Work isn't a problem. Babysitters and oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Like, nope, I can just do it. So that I'm thankful for.
I think that it's very easy to say that no matter the job situation in your life or the money situation or whatever, I think that, you know, if there was a way monetarily for you to be able to do this without YouTube or you know, without, you know, the double job thing for a while, like, I think that you still would have achieved the same goal. You just would have been more of a miserable person.
Sure.
And it's not the fact of like, oh, you'd be terrible to be around. It would be like, no, like your weight of like your aura and like your soul and like everything, like you can be fine, quote unquote, but you know, it's like, sure, I got what I want, but I work 12 hours a day and I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, and I think that anytime that somebody can actually, you know, harness that and, you know, just feel like that they have a bit of a thank you, like it just, and just have that stop moment. Like we've talked it to death, and it's something that I hope that we never stop talking to death, because it's the fact that it's still so brand new to both of us, the good things that are happening, you know, it's and I'm trying very hard to just remember that it's like, no, don't worry about the next thing. Enjoy what's happening now. Like, I'm not so pompous to say that, oh, like just live in the moment, you'll be fine. It's like, well, no, like you need to have thoughts and move forward and do what you need to do. But in the same hand, I'm looking at it and I'm like, no, like I'm going to stay here for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm going to just enjoy this for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, you know, that funny Markiplier thing of like, I'm going to go eat a hoagie sandwich because I care about myself, you know, so, but.
Well, you know, it's also, like you said, like getting used to it, where I was like, you know, there was a couple times lately, because it's only been like, what, 2 months maybe that I've been doing this. And I remember a couple times I was like standing in the shower, I was like standing in the kitchen. I'm like, oh God, like I gotta go edit, you know, these 4 videos. And then I was like, and I like stopped myself in my head and was like, shut the fuck up. Oh, poor baby. That's all you have to do. You're your own boss. Fucking get over it.
Yeah.
This is your biggest hurdle of the day. Fuck me, right? Like it's just, and it was just one of those where like I realized how lucky I am. And then I became very thankful in that moment, because I have talked to God or prayed, whatever you want to talk, you know, however you want to say it. But like, you know, for a while, not even just for YouTube, just in general, like this kind of situation. And he gave it to me. Stop complaining. Like, you know, so why am I complaining?
Yeah.
Go do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, that's what I'm thankful for. It is just a lot of getting used to.
Yeah. It's, well, I think it's, again, I'm okay with being the frog in boiling water, and you know, in this, you know, stance of things where it's like, you know, I'm good and I don't even know it. You know, it's like I can just focus and just do what I'm doing, and I think that's really what I'm thankful for, is that it's my, you know, my life has changed drastically, and it is because of you guys, and it's because of the work that we've put in, and it's because of the people that, you know, I've met, you know, through everything, like, you know, getting to just connect with just awesome people that are struggling with real life things. And it's just, you know, like, and again, like having that in on music, and people are just, you know, like they're on fire, you know, about those things. Like it's weird. Like even talking with Jake is somebody that has been a friend of mine, like, you know, during like Bob the Demon days.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it's weird because for a while, like we kind of just like we're just the friends that talk to each other. And then one of us will message each other about music. And then it's like, oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh my God. No, we love Falling in Reverse. No, let's talk about this. Like it's just,
yeah.
And it's being able to just, you know, take those moments and enjoy it, because, you know, I find that music is really what has kept us alive and what has kept us moving forward, you know, ultimately. And it is making me wonder, what song is really sticking out to you right now? Like what is a song that is just like, maybe it's on repeat, or maybe it's, if it's not a repeater, it's something that like, you know, for a fact you're going to listen to, and that just sticks to you like Velcro. Like it's like, what is something that's going on right now with your music?
The biggest repeater for me at the moment. So there are a couple, but the one that I have listened to probably Oh, if I've got my headphones on or in the car the last probably 2 weeks, because I think we did it like 2 weeks ago. It's been almost everything that I listen to is Aqua Regia from Sleep Token.
Oh, yes. Yes, dude. It is so good. It is so damn good.
That, and then probably it's that before that one, it was probably Bad Omens, Death of Peace of Mind.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
As far as like non-rap. But yeah, that's why I'm gonna go with those two.
Aqua Regia is actually one that I threw on while I was setting up the podcast room today, and I put it on repeat. It's just it is so damn good. To me, I think that we had an intense conversation the other night about Sleep Token and like what it means and like how everything's going, and it's just like, you know, who is Vessel, like what is this whole deal? And I think Aqua Regia is one of those songs that it gives you a little bit of everything. And if you enjoy a visualizer along with it, you're just going to like be tripped out by it as well, too.
Yeah.
There's so much texture and everything to just chew on and to enjoy.
I'm kind of upset that we didn't look up like what it, like, obviously we knew what Aqua meant, but we didn't realize it went with the whole word too. Like, so that was a little disappointing on my end that I didn't just be like, well, what does this other word mean? And then kind of figure it out. But dude, Vessel is somebody that I swear sometimes when I go back and re-listen to a Sleep Token song, it hits me way more emotionally than it happened on the channel, because not that I'm not in the moment, but you're finally like, you're not on camera. You're not like, you can kind of just like be with your thoughts and like really listen to it again, because you already know what's kind of coming or like the sound.
Yeah.
But then you realize this dude's lyrics fucking hit you in the soul.
It doesn't make any sense.
And sometimes I'm like, why does that line? It's that it does not that it doesn't make sense, but like, what the fuck? But like, why is that making me feel like this?
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. And I think that's why Aqua Regia has been the new one on repeat, because there's a lot of different layers of that song, I think, that happened that kind of resonate with me. But it's also the fact that it's one of the few, at least so far, that I've heard that stays in that lane of like, not melodic, but it's not his like rock or metal or, you know, whatever. It kind of just stays in that lane. And I like it on that one. I like the fact that they switch around a lot, but dude, that's been my repeater just because there's just something to it. The lyrics, the inflections, the music behind it. So that's been my big one since basically the day we heard it and reacted to it.
I think that every time that we listen to a Sleep Token song, it's guaranteed that I will listen to it as much as I possibly can in the car. And it's like, that's my main thing. Like I'll make sure that I have it down, that I hit my, you know, slider, you know, right underneath of like, you know, the E or the P or whatever, to know that that's where this cool part of this song is. Like, because Take Me Back to Eden was actually one that I mainly listened to the rap part over and over again, just because it was so different and unique, you know. It's not that the rest of the song isn't good.
Correct.
It's like, dude, like, nah, dude, this thing is tickling my fancy right now, and I cannot get enough.
Do you think Vessel does that on purpose? Do you think Sleep Token is for something that, let's say in a 4 or 5 minute song that they have, you know, sometimes it is just a little bit of like a break as far as like, not even like a guitar riff. It's just like some kind of like musical breakdown that happens. But I'm wondering if it's one of those like, all right, metalhead, here's your section. All right, R&B and rapper, here's your section. Okay, you know, classical here. It's one of those like, anybody can listen to Sleep Token, just because me and you not only like, but we like more this 2 minute section. That's damn near a song these days.
Right.
Because nobody wants to put in the fucking work. Like, especially rappers, dude. Don't get me started. But they think a hook and 2 verses is good. Fucking what? But no, I wondered that myself, is just like, I wonder if that's why he does that. Or is it just to like, be like, fuck you, I'm good. Right. Like, so maybe it's a little bit of both. So
I think that there's this beautiful thing that Misha Mansour said when he was being interviewed, the brainchild behind Periphery. And the question was asked to the group that he was in. They said, or it was asked, how did they put it? They said, do you fight to be original? Like, do you like worry about staying original and doing those things? And he said, absolutely not. He's like, I am chasing something much more selfish. And I love the way that his mind worked in that, was that it's this idea that I think that Vessel just loves doing music. And I think that he probably just can't get enough. And by the way, I know Eric's camera's cutting in and out. It's the HDMI thing. We're gonna get that fixed soon. So, but
okay, I was looking over. I didn't know if that's if I was glitching out or not.
Yeah, no, the video itself will be fine, but we have a bad cord. It just needs taken care of. But so apologize in advance, and if anybody misses it, comment, let them know. But no, it's just I think Vessel has got something that is. I don't know the truth of like where his music really comes from. If the dream he had was in fact real, I don't know if it was, just him having a crazy concept because he dropped acid one time. Like that's a speculation. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is that made everything happen. But what I can say is that his music, I think he just writes what he wants to hear. I think it's and he kind of like, he has that badassery of like, he just doesn't care. It's like, no, like you either like it or you don't. Like, I know that there's a whole sector of people out there that are like, nah, dude, they're just glorified Tool. They're just, a cheap Tool knockoff. It's like, first off, no. It's like I wouldn't listen to them and equate them with Tool. Yes, him and Maynard have similar inflections in the way that they sound, and they both can be heavy, but Sleep Token is Sleep Token.
Right.
It's to me, I don't think that they can be compared. They can probably be like, you can make look at some similes of like, okay, oh sure, like nobody knows who they are. It's like they wear masks or they do this stuff. Okay, well, Mushroomhead and Slipknot did that. Gore does that. It's like they're their own thing, and they're taking things that are as we said before, there's no such thing as an original idea. And I think that they're just harnessing that.
I think going back on the whole mask thing, like. We're pretty sure we figured out who he is. I'm not going to say anything because I'm going to respect it. But if you guys know, don't be a dick and say it on here. But we think we figured out and listened to things before he was Vessel, and people were commenting and being like, Vessel was his final form. We heard a few things and we're like, oh, okay, it is. This is what this is.
I never want the mystery
if it's
ruined.
True.
Right. It's like, I don't want the mystery ruined, but it also doesn't bother me that it's like, no, this is where this man started. Like,
right.
Yeah.
But I also am trying to respect the fact that he's trying to keep it a secret.
Sure.
Like we figured it out, like I said, I think, but like you said, like we do kind of maybe have that little bit of insight, like, oh God, look at from, 10, 12 years ago to today.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool if we're right. So that was cool. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so no, wearing a mask is not original, but it's still cool. Like if you do it right.
I think there's also something weird about the way that he, and I don't mean this as like disrespectful, but the way that he paints himself and the way that his mouth looks, and like he borderline looks like something out of like Pan's Labyrinth.
He looks like, that thing with the eyes.
Yes.
Or with almost like it's kind of weird, but it's cool. It's cool.
It is such a mystery. Sleep Token is something that I really hope that one day I get answers when I'm like 90. You know what I'm saying? Like where it's like, let me like the point of why it works is because we don't know. It's like the whole Pulp Fiction thing where it's like, what's in the suitcase? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like that. Yeah. Well, no, but I want to know. No, but Quentin doesn't care. He didn't even maybe he doesn't even know.
Exactly.
So to me, I think that's the part of it that makes
he said, hey, make these faces and act like this just because. And they said, okay. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
Cut.
And I love it too that all the rest of the guys in the band don't even have names. It's just Vessel 1, Vessel 2, or whatever. Like the drum playthrough that one of the Vessels does, it says an offering from Vessel 1 or whatever, where it's like even in the way that they produce their content is just so unique. And it's so wild.
Yeah.
I love it. However, before we get into the Discord questions, which, by the way, guys, you just completely brought it. I put out a thing before we got started, and it was like 1, 5, 8, 20, 30, and it just kept going. So there are a lot of questions tonight. So if your question is not used, don't worry. You gave us plenty to be able to throw at it at the end of another episode. So Now that we've talked about like, just what we're thankful for and how like things are good now and we're in a good place, what are you excited about? It doesn't even have to be the thing that you're the most excited about. It doesn't have to be first place, but just in general, like what is Eric excited about just moving forward?
I think it is just that. It's the moving forward. It does sound funny, but I think that this is a really good quote, even though it's from a movie where it was the whole fact of, I don't know what tomorrow brings. And Robin Williams says, how exciting.
Yeah.
There is something about that I look forward to. I don't know. I know that we put in the time, we put in, the effort, everything for our channels, but cool things just happen in general. But I'm excited for things like that where like it just kind of like wherever the wind takes me, because I can do that now. But if I have to pinpoint it down, some of the interviews that we're going to probably do.
I'm so excited. Yeah.
If I really had to like pinpoint something down like that, it would be some of the interviews and moving forward with Meg and I, like, we're looking at, getting a home,
sure.
And, things like that in the future. So like definitely that. But in general, it's just, life is just kind of cool now. And I can just kind of go wherever I want to do or go and do whatever I want to do and just make sure I'm home in time to record.
Right. And again, that's never been a battle of ours. It's like our battle of making content is not producing it. And it's, I think that's what's the most interesting. You talk about not knowing what's coming. And I will say that, I think that I'm excited for a lot of things YouTube wise, but I'm also trying to remember to enjoy just even the setting that I'm in and the fact that things are now different. The fact that like, dumb things like my bedroom is now in the basement. And, it's
you've got a whole damn apartment down there, man.
It's so weird because I went from being down there, not, I guess you would say by choice, but it was one of those where it was just like, no, like that's where I spent the majority of my time.
Right.
I slept down there. Like I played video games down there. I played guitar down there. Like it was all that stuff. And I didn't mind it. It was my man cave. Like but in the same hand is that, cause like I've been asked, by a couple of people when I told them like, I was, moving, the bedroom and everything. And they were like, well, are you good being in the basement? Cause I think maybe they have a wrong perspective on what our basement actually is. It's like, it's not like, this isn't like, Amityville Horror or whatever. Like it's
like a finished basement. Yeah.
Like we could easily put a movie theater down there. We've talked about that.
Right.
Like,
and a bar and things like that. Right.
It's very homey and I enjoy it. So
sliding glass door.
It's to me, I look at it and like getting up is easier now. It's the fact that I've worked it out to where it's like, no, like my alarm clock is across the room. So I have to walk, to be able to get up and, do so. It's small things like that. And it's, even the, stupid things of like, there's a half bath down there. So it's the fact that it's like, I can, use like, these are, very, I guess you could say like, just privileged people problems, I guess you could say. But in the same hand is that, no, like I try to not miss that stuff. Like, I know where I came from. I know how I grew up. I know what was around. I know what wasn't. And experiencing what we have and just how the room has come together and how this room has come together, the studio, and now like, my personal living space down there, like, for my me time, like it's just something really cool. Like I hope that I have good writing days down there. I hope that, I have some of the best sleep down there. I hope that, I have, great moments watching TV down there, like while I'm doing things. Like it's so weird to be able to like to go from not missing a TV and not having one in my room to now it's one of those where like I kind of feel naughty.
I know.
So
I know because that's the one I think I put down there a while ago because we replaced yours because I got it for like super cheap and like, that's why I was like, just keep it down here. I don't give a shit. But
Right.
dude, that's so crazy that like the thing didn't get used.
No.
For how long?
No, it was literally a wall decoration for however long. It's made me feel bad. I was like, oh my
I got
God,
it for
do
stupid
something.
cheap, and that's why I was like, just fucking keep it down here, man. Like, yeah, no, it's funny though, but like the fact of you went from, like you said, not having a TV in there, and then now you have one again in your bedroom because you didn't have one in this room. You kind of just played on your phone and then went to sleep.
Right.
I do turn my TV on sometimes, in bed, but it's because I want like rain sounds or something like that. My TV hardly gets used.
Right.
Like it's weird. Like we usually just sit on our phones, man. So I think that's kind of where the world is.
Well, I think it's also like, TV time for us is not
way different.
It's not conventional TV time because it's the idea that, like we do throw on Good Mythical Morning. That has not happened a lot recently. And it's
we don't have cable.
Right. And it's like we stream everything.
Right.
So to me, I look at it that, TV time is something that is kind of rare for me when it's by myself because I don't really do it that often. I'm still looking at a screen no matter what I'm doing.
Sure.
But in the same hand is that, like just sitting down because like I've had tons of people that which I appreciate because it's like they want to share, their love of, this thing. But like, dude, you got to watch this. You got to watch that. I'm like, I can guarantee you that is not going to happen. Because it's just I don't watch TV shows. Like I don't have the time to. I like making things. I love, creating
doing
things.
Right.
And it's like last night I cleaned the entire house and listened to like, however many podcasts or listened to Christopher Titus's stand-ups. And I had the best time. Like, it's like I don't need, Christopher Titus and like things like that are kind of like my office, like where people throw it on in the background and do their thing. Like that's kind of what I have found is that like I've never, steered into the TV show thing. But
okay.
But
see, that's how I am. Like, mine is either usually something like an old show and it's just kind of mindlessly on, or if I am by myself, it's headphones and music. So the fact of, like you said, our TV time is kind of different compared to other people. It is the fact that we don't have the cable. We don't really watch sports anymore. We don't really. So like we're kind of in the point of, well, like you said, streaming and our phones, man. So it's just, it's a new age, and we unfortunately have fallen into that. So,
well, it is time to dive into your guys' questions. And the first one that stuck out to me because I was just like, whoa, like, I think we've talked about it in passing, but Cure on Discord asks, has there ever been a point in your YouTube career that you guys have thought about quitting? And I will say for myself that throwing in the towel has never really been an option, but losing Clouds and Lost, that was kind of the moment that I was just like, I could probably stop tomorrow and I would find a way to heal like that, like, cause for anybody that doesn't know, we did a reaction to NF's Clouds and Lost and we had no audio on both of them. And then we lost. So it was it was the whole thing. So I know that that's what that was for me. Like I never said that I wanted to stop, but I did have a moment on the back deck to myself for a little bit. I'm like, is this going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? Like, is this it? But yeah.
Well, I've never verbalized this, but I don't know the exact like date or like the thing, but I can kind of talk about it now. I've been going through a custody battle with my little girl, and there was just some things happening in my life for probably a year.
Yeah.
And there was a stint where I wanted to quit because I felt like YouTube was a big reason why I wasn't in the situation I thought I was supposed to be in. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
With maybe people I was supposed to be with. And I felt like YouTube was the culprit of why this was all happening to me. And I thought, maybe if I just quit, it'll stop.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also knew I wanted to be the stay-at-home dad, and I wanted to do these things, and I wanted to make sure that I had time with my kids and with my significant others. And the only way to do that is to grind and do this. Okay, Eric, you started this, fucking finish it.
Yeah.
If that is true on why you're in this situation, you're already in it because you made the decision, make it work now.
Yeah.
I wanted to quit because I thought that would prove something, to the situation that I was in. And then before that, it was when we were doing gaming. I know that we were very new. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got to switch it to some lighter hearted shit.
No, you're good. You're good.
It was bad. And it was just because, subscribers were low, and it wasn't like I was expecting 50,000 right off the rip. I was like, come on, like, we are funny. This is good.
Like, could we get a comment from somebody that we didn't tell them about tell them that the video was up? Like,
it was just like, man, and I really wanted to quit. And all I kept thinking was, no, it's already up. I want to show them some music. We've got something here on that. Metalhead rap guy, so those are the two times that I've wanted to. And the one I talked about first lingered for a while. I don't know if you can really tell them in videos. I tried to make sure that when I was editing and looking that it didn't seem like that, but I was still in that funk. So I don't know.
Well, I think it's also the fact that, there's been plenty of times that I know that I've gotten done with, whether it's a podcast or if it's a video. And I think to myself, that was not a good one. Like, I know how I felt. But because it was Pump It, by and that was the reaction that I was just like, dude, I'm like, I think I need to say something, but it was fine. And it was great. It's weird. So I think it's that perspective is that, it really shows that nobody knows what is going on inside your head. And and there's a comforting factor about that, but then there's also that, call to action aspect of that too, where it's like, no, check on your friends, like, do your thing, and that's, I think that the point of both of our stories with that is that depression is real, life is real, relationships are real, and the grind is real. And I think that the fact that when you stick it out and you do it, it is worth it. And I think that anybody that is making content that is contemplating quitting, if you love it, don't quit. If you love it, you'll make it. If nobody sees it or if somebody sees it, and I think that one way or another, you'll be able to do something amazing with it. But to change it up a little bit, I hope I say this right. Emaru Angel. I loved this question. Emaru asks, what is a question that you wish someone would ask you? and I toyed with like the mentality of like, I want them to ask about like, the movie I'm writing, or like, I want them to ask me about like, no, like, dude, like I'm working like this stuff that we do is only the tip of the iceberg of what I'm trying to do. And but it's also the fact that I like, if somebody were to ask about the middle, it's like, dude, like, I'm like, do you have 3 hours? Cause that's what you're going to need,? So like, I would love for somebody to ask me about the personal stuff that I'm doing. As far like, but then again, people do ask me about scary stories, but there's a part of me that would love, some more like specific nature to that, or like would ask me about maybe like, like somebody messaging like, oh my God, like I listened to your mom's story. Like, did this really happen? Like that, maybe like that, something like that. But I mean, we also get really good questions too. So,
I was going to say, man, there's not a whole lot that I'm really trying to think because we do get asked really good questions. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes it's a lot like, oh, where'd the name come from? Or, what's your favorite, this and that. Okay. I'm not saying you can't ask that if you've never heard, but I'm just saying like, okay, yeah, those are repeaters. But when you do get asked the good questions, it's like, oh shit, that was a good one. Or how did you know that? Like,
right.
I guess, people have asked that too. Not necessarily a price, but like, it would almost be like, how much does it cost to be a YouTuber?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Some like real practical things.
Right. Like, I mean, I guess that has essentially been asked before, but almost one of those like being blunt, like, no, how much does your studio cost? How much does this take? Like, what do I got to do? Like, I'm trying to do this, like in that aspect where it's like, I'm trying to be good here. What is it going to take for me? So maybe that, I guess.
So, okay. Again, I'm hoping that I say this right. But I believe that their name is Rari, Rairi. And they asked, what's your favorite running joke that has started since the channel started? And I for me, I've got two. And
like between us,
I would say like the channel running joke. So like it would be probably between the two of us, but like Mom would qualify, Josh would qualify, Devin would qualify, or like if it's like lasted, through like if people understand it or know it. Cause to me, it's rice. Dude, that is what, it's not the biggest one, but that is one that comes back every now and then. And I read a comment and I'm like, thank you for watching. And it's got that, like, it was a complete accident. My brain short circuited, and I was like, yeah, I'm like, it's all right. I can't remember what I was actually trying to say, but like, it just came out. Yeah, it's rice. Like, so yeah. Merch is coming soon.
I guess I would have to say, I don't know. There is a couple. The ongoing joke actually is the random things at the end, because
I'll give you that. Yeah.
That technically is an ongoing joke, because I just kind of wanted to fuck with you. Because like you were talking about, and all I heard was my claustrophobia, and it kicked in. I was like, well, I remember hearing that thing about, being perfectly fine, but your brain's inside your skull and you're fine with that. And it just kind of took off. I would say that, and not acknowledging my giant cups.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. We're finally going to talk about this. Okay.
Like not acknowledging maybe like or like when I would wear contacts, or when I do wear contacts for like, really heavy metal, like devil shit. Like my Alex Terrible mask, like we just don't say a word.
That is, to me, one of my favorite things about the channel is that,
I think that is one of the biggest ones. Like, I guess, kind of like a inside joke, if you will.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, everything else is pretty much just out in the open. Ginger is a close third.
Yeah.
When I said juniper,
I don't know. Did we ever release that to the public, or was that a patron thing?
That was strictly a patron thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because it's rice is up there, but I also think that the cups are something that I
got new ones that I just brought home.
This will probably end up being a YouTube clip, but it's one of those where, like, dude, like, I think I've only ever acknowledged the cups one time, and I'm pretty sure it was an Electric Callboy, and I think it was when you did oh God, because I don't want to reveal too much magic, but it was I can cut this out if you don't want it on the internet, but it was you were like, all right, man, I'm going to sit down with the big red Solo cup.
Oh, yeah.
And then he had like the mini shot glasses. That way it was like he went from big to little. And it's like,
dude, that was great. Dude, that was great, because I just started sipping out of like little shot glasses. Yeah.
Dude, it's because I think what it was I looked over and I think you had like your pinky out or something. And it was like, so what are we reacting to? And I think I looked over and went, so Electric Callboy is back, and like it's so like this. And here's the thing: is I mean this with the utmost respect, but people don't pay attention. That like, and it's like we have explained how we go through NF in every single video, and every single person's like, "Dude, where's therapy session?" And it's like, have you
not listened?
Have you watched any of our reactions? Like so, but like what I mean is that when it comes to the cups, is that they've essentially become a part of you now. And it's just this thing where it's like, okay, like, cause like it happens still. And it's something that just it drives me just up a funny wall. Is like when it's like, so I imagine some like gangster dude being like, is nobody going to acknowledge these cops?
People say it all the time. Is nobody going to talk about this dude's giant fucking aquarium? Like, and then I saw one today again where it's like, is my man drinking from a vase?
Yeah. Like, maybe. There's a part of me that looks at that and it's like, oh, they think I'm their man. That's sweet. That's awesome. It's like we're homies. We got it.
Yeah.
But then the other part of me is like, yeah, he's drinking from a vase, So
right.
No, just oh my God. It is such a cool portion of the channel. And it was one of those that like it was kind of mindless.
It started here. It started on this channel.
Yes. Yeah,
when I bought Maximus, it's the big brand. Yeah, I named most of them, but yeah. So yeah, my one is UFO because it looks like a UFO.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's to me, it is one of the most fun portions of it, and like, and dude, I'm thinking of things too that I want to do in the future. Like, there's a part of me that wants to just wear ridiculous shirts all the time.
Yeah,
you like doing the Froggy Fresh video we did with the button up that Aunt Heidi gave me, and then she gave you the wolf shirt.
Oh, like, I'm rocking that bitch.
It's just to me, it's like that's the stuff that I love. Is I love just being out there because again, this is only 3 hours of my life, and that's collectively filming for the entire week. Let's have some fun with it.
Exactly.
And that's all that it's ever been. And I think that that's why people relate to it or people enjoy it, because it's kind of like the Film Riot mentality, where it's like, yes, they are a show that explain how to do film and to do all these things, but there's tons of people that watch that show just because their sketches are funny.
Right.
So it's, to me, it's that's what's been the best thing, is that I think that we've had a lot of running jokes, and I loved that. That was so cool.
Dude, it was an accident, and it just slowly kept becoming more and more like it. At first, it was kind of just like ridiculous things I could drink out of, because, you know, like I still do use it, Cindy, but like Cindy sent like the the dumbbell and stuff, and like I do have the horn. It's not a giant one, but at first it was kind of just like ridiculous things. But I was like, no, man, I want big fucking obnoxious things like to drink out of, because it is like, what the fuck is this dude drinking out of? Like, and it's not the same one every episode. So that's what's the great part. So that's, it's just kind of an unspoken inside joke that we do. So yeah. And it started here. It started on the Cavecast.
Yeah. It's, and actually, well, I think
from Beer Facts. We did the Beer Facts.
That was actually on the Cartwright 425.
Well, sorry, what I meant, like the podcast.
I think that's like, there's this thing where, like, I think it happens with art and what you do, is that I think that there's sometimes like some things just work, and it's in like, you can't pinpoint it. You can't explain why it doesn't work. Like, Eric and I had no idea what this podcast was going to be like before we got into this room tonight. And by the way, that's how it is in everything that we do.
Pretty much.
You know, I'm not trying to like make a magnifying glass on us right now, but like, it's the truth. Like, it's like, dude, we just do things that we think would be funny. Like, we do stuff that makes us laugh. Like, because I know that if you don't laugh at something, I'm not going to do it. Like, it's really like, it's even like with, you know, writing something or whatever. Like, if you don't have an emotional reaction of some kind, or like, even if a who or oh or like, ha or like whatever, like, to me, that's how I gauge it, where it's just like, nope, it's not funny. No, it's like, I'm getting it out of here. I'm moving on, you know? And it's just, and I think that's also the cool part about the ending quotes too, is that it's, you know, I genuinely have no idea what you're going to say. And even on the times that you do mess it up, you usually only mess up the intro before
to get to it. Yeah.
So we've kind of found our lane. We found our pocket. We found our thing, and it's all right. Like, things don't suck. You know, it could definitely be a lot worse. You know, and I think that there's a lot to be proud of with that. I love what we've done.
I think the fact that we do have certain things like that, and we've tried things, is the fact that, like you said, like, okay, well, if I don't get a reaction out of you, it's not funny, at least, because we have bounced things off of each other for Riker Road and even this show, where you agreed the contacts were kind of a good idea. The giant cups starting, that's a good idea. Like, everybody needs their thing. Once I started doing those closing statements, you're like, that was good. Hone into that. Mm-hmm. Like, you help me gear into it. We're not just throwing things every video trying to get something to stick. Like, we do kind of talk about, like, hey, what's going to be the other thing or whatever that we maybe don't acknowledge. But like, right. I guess maybe that's the other thing, is that we do discuss the non-discussed things. Like, so
if you guys knew the level of love and care that goes into the content that we create, I think that it would only solidify your emotions more with what you feel about the channel and about us and about like the music we listen to and the things that, you know, that happen. It's something that only the two of us can understand, and I'm very happy to have it that way. I'm elated about it. It's something that, you know, again, even having the simplicity of the room and being able to come in here and just do what we're doing and easily walk out and just get back to our lives, you know, and only be on camera, for, you know, however long it needs to be. And I think that tonight was definitely an interesting test run of seeing what it's like. Let's just see if we can sit in front of a couple microphones and just talk. And guys, be honest with how you feel about how this episode went down. We didn't really prepare anything besides a couple of questions. And
I babbled a little bit there for a little bit there. So I was like, oh, fuck. But yeah, because we were not prepared. So
yeah, no, and to me, like that's the stuff that I'm excited for, is that when Ron shows up, you know, it's like, you know, we can just sit down and talk with him, you know, and just we've done that before, where it's like, you know, we had some questions on our mind, but it was allowed to just be. And
right.
So to me, that's the most, important thing is that if we can keep making conversations happen and everything, moves the way that it is. To keep you guys updated on what's coming up is that we have the pleasure of interviewing the man behind the Merkins next week. That will be out on Friday. I am just so fucking excited for that. It's going to be so cool.
That was one of the things I was saying. We were talking about earlier about the people we're interviewing. I didn't know if you wanted me to say anything, but
sure,
dudes.
Yeah.
This is going to be so cool.
Assuming everything works out, he is
Yeah.
on board. We've talked in instant message. Everything's been going on. But yeah, so
I kind of am wondering if he's going to stay in character or like one of the characters. So we don't know yet, guys, but I would imagine he might. Which I think there's something cool about that. Either way, it's going to be fun.
To me, I think that, the questions that even you were bringing up, and again, I'm not going to spoil anything for the actual episode, but you've got some very compelling questions. I know I've got some compelling questions I want to ask him too. And it'll be cool to be on the other end of that because we did do the Moose Lounge podcast. Yes. So it's like being able to do things like that.
And guys, go check them out.
Dude, 100%. They are so damn good. They are so much fun. I cannot wait to meet them in person.
Yeah.
Just everything. But moving forward from that is that I do have a buddy of mine that works in the TV industry, and I get to talk to him, and that's more than likely going to be a one-on-one conversation. But we do have some other big things that are cooking, and we are really excited about it, and we really hope that you guys enjoy it as much as we do when we get the chance to be able to do it, and just the fact that we're fortunate enough to be able to do what we do. So either way, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for taking the time to be able to watch this and enjoy it. Like and subscribe if you're listening to it on YouTube. That way it helps with the algorithm. And Eric, is there anything that you would like to say to the audience before we officially sign off tonight? Go cook some amazing food.
Random quote. Cheers. I didn't prepare one.
It's awesome. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one.